Okay. Hello, everybody. My name is Sergey. I have Pavel with me. Pavel, say hello.
Hi there.
Hello. Hey. We were playing Arkham for a while, so I live in Cardiff and Pavel lives in London, and we were playing online. Sometimes we meet and play offline. Recently, we finished an Iron Man of the Age with our friend Kira. Hi, Kira. Thanks for watching.
Hey there.
Uh, so today we wanted to make a video about deck building. And when you make a video about deck building, it's very nice to have an example how you approach deck building. And usually people take an investigator and they are playing with that investigator. And we just got a new investigator, which is not the part of the FFG, which is kind of like a custom thing, but it was printed, almost all was printed by the FFG. And that investigator is the Yithian, right? So if you played Forgotten Age, there is a lot of spoilers about Forgotten Age, about all the cards in the game. So if you didn't play it, stop it now. It's too late. Now you know there is a Yithian in Forgotten Age. Now, you might be a Yithian in Forgotten Age, maybe for a while, maybe for just one scenario. And the Yithian is a very interesting creature. So it doesn't have a lot of skills, but if you commit a skill, after you commit a card to a skill test, double the number of skills on that card. Um, yeah, so the problem with this Yithian, as it was printed by the Fantasy Flight Games in Forgotten Age, was that there was no deck building. So, I mean, obviously, this is not a good investigator if you don't build your deck for that. If you build a stylus deck with a lot of skills, yeah, sure, that's a great Yithian to become. But if you don't aim for that, you might be in trouble. Like if you don't have a lot of cards to commit, or you want to play your cards instead of committing them, you're in trouble. And what happened is that there is a gentleman in France who organized a Arkham competition. That is, you are playing through Forgotten Age and you score points. And one of the ways how you play that is by being a lonely Yithian. So Yithian has a little star notifying that there cannot be two Yithians uh, in that mode. I want to close the tab. Uh, So we are building two different editions and we are not playing them together. And that gentleman added a deck building. So deck building any cards from any class and neutral cards, all of the cards in your collection, pretty much, not counting the signatures. Um,
That's
so
the dream, yeah?
there are some investigators that kind of try to do that. So Suzy is amazing. Like if you have access to Suzy, try playing her. Lola is amazing, like hard but amazing. Like if you make her work. Um, Charlie Kane is a bit weird because like he's just two colored. He's not really neutral. He's just two color. But yeah, we don't want to go there for today. But like this person does not restrict your deck building, which makes it both harder and easier. The exercise makes it interesting. This exercise of deck building. Um, yeah, so both Suzy and Lola are punishing you for having access to all the cards by having bigger deck size. So this one has deck size of 30, which is pretty much sufficient for everything we planned for today. And it comes with the permanent. So your deck is not going to be 33 cards, it's going to be 32 cards, which is very nice. You can see that this original card maker was from France because it says Yithian and not asset, but uh, the point is that you have to learn how to use your cards. So you have cards, cards have traits, and you have to learn traits on all your cards before you can use them. And that's a campaign specific uh, thing. So you learn to use items, right, in your first scenario. You can use items in your fifth scenario without relearning that. But some items are items and armor, for instance. So you for use that you have to know items and you have to know armor. And learning is a test of books, how we call it, intelligence or lore or yeah. So it's hard to have a lot of traits in your deck. So this investigator gives you an opportunity to use any cards, but you cannot be too varied. I mean, obviously, you can pass tests of difficulty 16 with this specific investigator, but it's probably going to be difficult. It's probably going to take a lot of action. So you probably don't want to do that.
Yeah, I guess the unique challenge of this investigator is that you have to actually do some work before starting using your cards. You're not even playing, even committing. You need to pass tests right before you actually get some benefit from the card.
Which is different from, so it's going to slow down the beginning, but it might speed up the ending. We'll see how it goes.
Yeah.
All right. So if you want to learn about it, look for Yithian Cup on Reddit or on Mythos Busters, or I'm sure there is plenty of other Arkham opportunities where you can find it, but it's ran on Mythos Busters. Mythos Busters is a Arkham Central, like Arkham podcast in Canada, where they have a Discord which has a lot of active participants. So there is other stuff going on there. But like if you want to try doing that, look for Hunters of the Mythos or Yithian Cup on Reddit, and you'll find the registration form, the presentation document, learn other challenges that are there. So yeah, my point here is that we have an investigator and we want to show you how we deck build on this new investigator. It's easy enough so that you can see it's not something you have seen before, so you can approach it freely. And I hope you will have fun. Now, I'll give you a second to make a pause and think how you would build it. Okay? The pause starts. Click the space. Click the pause. Now let us go. Oh, you didn't hear that. Let's go. Pavel, show me your Yithian.
All right. So let me share my screen here. Here we are. Right. So, well, Yithian is not an Arkham DB as a playable investigator, so I had to choose another one. And this time is going to be Lola Hayes. So the name of the deck is Lola Hayes is a Yithian. There we are.
All right. So this is Arkham DP. This is the website where we build decks, and it's easy to share your deck, and it's working with other software like Arkham Cards that allows you to import and export decks. So that's not necessarily, well, probably the most popular device to store decks in Arkham community.
Yeah. So you've seen the stat line of the Yithian investigator. It's not great. Let's be honest. It's twos across the board, which means that you will be committing a lot of cards. And obviously the ability of the investigator is to double the skill icons of the cards committed to tests. So you want to have cards which have a lot of icons to be able to actually pass those tests.
Moreover, you double only the icons on one card once per test.
Yes.
So like you cannot have 5 cards of one question mark. You need to have a lot of pips on one card.
Yeah. So one of the first things or the basic things that I've been looking at when I started building this deck is the icons on the cards that I'm including. And second, because of Yithian's ability, or I'd rather say limitation, to only use the cards of which he has learned or rather they have learned the traits. That's the other aspect that I had to look at. How many traits a given card has, and well, I'll get to that later, especially when I get to assets that I will include it. But it is a very, very interesting angle, and definitely an angle at which I've never approached deck building in this game. Looking at the traits and being sort of limited by how many traits you want to include in your deck in general. Because the more traits you have to include, the more you have to work and actually spend actions in the game to be able to use those cards. So I already mentioned there's going to be a lot of committing in this deck. Which means that this is likely going to be a skill-based deck. And just to right off the bat, just to start, I'm going to include, well, let's start with perception. Of course, we would need perception for those intellect icons. not just to not just to find clues, right? That's the core of the game, but also to pass those learning tests, because it is an intellect test there. I will include guts as well. Again, there's going to be skill tests in this game. There's going to be willpower tests for sure. So guts will be useful. Same for manual dexterity. So basically, I'm going with a almost the full roster of the neutral skill cards. So guts, manual dexterity, perception, unexpected courage goes in as well for those
It's a good
two
card. Yeah.
wild. It is a good card. I mean, it's solid, right?
Yeah.
And it's going to be 4 intellect, four wild icons in the Yithian, for question marks, which is good.
May I
Very
suggest a
flexible.
thing? Do you see the skills right next to your level 0? Level 0, level 1.5, and there is a skill button.
Yeah, give me a
lower.
second.
Yeah. And now you see all the neutral skills.
Yeah. Okay.
So if you don't know the name of the card, but you know it's a red card of level 1.5, 1 or 5, and the skill, you just click on the red, click on the skill, click on 1.5.
Yeah.
Especially if you have a lot of different cards and you don't know half of them. I enjoy just scrolling down and seeing whether that's
true. Yeah. In this case, I want to actually go into the card itself like this, just so that people can actually see what the card does.
Right.
Right. So now, naturally, the next one in this list. No, surprisingly, it's not going to be Overpower, because I believe that Overpower has been vastly outclassed, dominated by this card, Daring here. Overpower, the combat icons you mostly use in actual combat, and Daring can be used not only in combat but also for evasion. It gives you a higher skill boost, and also it gives you an unconditional card draw.
Right.
Even the downside, retaliate and alert, this becomes a 6 wild icons. You probably are going to pass that test for sure, even with a flat stat line of all 2s across the board.
One problem, and that is that there is a treachery in the cave, like in scenario 5 or so, where you need 4 fists to remove a collapse of the something, right? So that would not work there, but you probably have 28 more cards.
Yeah, I'll use other wild icons for that. Yeah, indeed.
So fighting, evading, daring is much better than.
Yeah, and the other thing is that daring can be used for any kind of fight test, not just a hit with your fist.
So you can use it for
you can use it for things like spells, or for using it for agility-based weapons. So yeah, it is actually quite flexible. So I'm gonna go with 2 of those as well. Now I'm looking at my other list of skills. Speaking of wild icons, we are going to include this card as well, and it's also going to be a 2-off. It says, commit only to a skill test you're performing, and only if the difficulty of that test is at least 2 higher than your base skill value. Well, our base skill value is 2, and there's going to be tests at 4 and higher for sure, and this will become a lot of icons. So
yeah, there's a lot of bosses which fight of 5.
Yes, yeah. So this goes in as well. There's a really nice card. I mean, I guess maybe later I can talk about the cards I didn't include. Things like Promise of Power, for instance. Promise of Power is a really, really good card, but it comes with 2 traits. That makes it difficult. So all of these cards that we've been looking at here, they all have one trait. So Daring is innate. Guts is, and we're looking at this, innate. So Guts is innate. Manual dexterity is innate.
You see, if you can just cover, it tells you, right? The skill you just cover.
Yeah. Education is innate, and unexpected courage is also innate. And then we're going to include another practiced here, which is deduction. Deduction is good for clue compression, just universally good card. There's going to be 2 clue locations in the game for sure. So that's where deduction will come in really, really handy. So we are including this as well.
And usually difficult location has 1 clue, and easy location has 2 clues. So deduction allows you to save time.
True.
Yeah.
True. I mean, it is a staple card. It's very useful. Another staple card is Vicious Blow, but that's damage compression, right? That adds an extra damage to your fight test. But I'm not including that one, and you'll understand why when I go to the assets that I'm going to include. Now, assets. The problem with assets is that they have a lot of those bloody traits, surprisingly. When I started looking at them, I mean, let me give you an example. Let's think of a good weapon. I mean, machete is all right, but everybody loves enchanted blade, right? Enchanted blade. Let's go look at this. Enchanted blade is an item, relic, weapon, and melee. So
Right.
this means that I need to spend 4 actions and pass 4 tests just to put this card into play, even before starting using it. This
I
is
mean, you
unacceptable
probably will
with this
have
kind of
items either
limitation.
way, right? So item is kind of for free.
Yeah,
Weapon, if you want to have a weapon, you get a weapon.
yeah,
Melee,
yeah.
again, if you want to have a melee weapon, you might need 2 melee weapons. But my point is,
Sure.
relic is kind of why I wouldn't take the enchanted blade. I would take something else like a
Yeah,
machete.
yeah.
It would
I
be just
mean,
3 and not unless I have a lot of relics, in which case relic is kind of coming for free.
yeah, yeah. And I mean, weapon and melee is okay. Once you learn those traits, it opens up
Yeah.
a lot more possibilities for you. But again, well, first scenario, untamed wilds, playing as a Yithian, I probably won't have all those actions to learn all of those tests, and if you learn all of those traits. And even if you look at things like magnifying glass, another staple, right? Magnifying glass, well, it comes with item and tool. That's already 2 traits, so already 2 actions to learn the traits, and
There
that's
is one
why
card without traits.
I
It's called if it
which
bleeds. If
if
it
it
bleeds.
bleeds. Oh wow, interesting. I didn't know that.
That's the
I
only
think I
thing a
remember.
Yithian can use without any training.
Yeah, I think I mean it's probably not the most commonly used card though. I think I remember one encounter card with a trade, but its name eludes me. Anyway, so in terms of assets, let me present you with newspaper. This is an asset with just 1 trait
Yep.
item, and
Yep.
that's it. So
Yep.
learn this, and you're going to have a really nice investigation boost. Well, when you have no clues, yes, it's conditional, but in SELP, I think it's fine. You will be spending those clues. If you have 2 newspapers, I'm kind of surprised it doesn't have a tome trait, but I guess that may be an oversight of the early game design. If you have 2 newspapers, you have +4 because they seem to be stacking. So it's nice, and it means that if I learn this item trait, it's going to open up a lot more things for me. So if I decide to include a weapon, I will only need to learn the weapon and melee traits, or magnifying glass. I only need to follow this up with learning the tool trait. So far we'll just go with item, and this is going to be our investigation boost. So what else do we need? We need fighting options, right? Again, we spoke about weapons. All those machetes, 45 automatic, 45 automatic. So if I'm not mistaken, it's item, weapon, firearm. So 3 traits as well. Although there are some fighting options which only have 1 trait, and those are spells. That's why I'm going to use shriveling as my fighting option. It has this soul spell trait. So, I mean, base willpower of 2 is not great, but there are ways to boost it, which I'm also going to cover later. So, in terms of being able to use it as soon as possible, in the first scenario, I want to use those actions to learn the traits that I need and be able to already start making progress in this area as soon as possible. So we're going to go with 2 of this. Now, how are we going to boost our willpower? Usually, traditionally, there's a lot of allies that give you boosts for your abilities. But then again, if we look at let's say Milan Christopher, again another staple. Well, Milan is a really nice ally, right? It's plus intellect, but it is an ally and miskatonic. Again, 2 traits just to put put him into play. So we're not going with Milan this time, even though I would have loved to. But again, I present you with Granny Orn, which seems to be, at least at level 0, the only ally which only has one trait, and that being ally. So
Well,
again,
there
we're
is
going to use
Lonnie Ritter, who is also an ally, but that's the only one I think who gets brains as
yeah,
yeah.
yeah. I mean, her ability is fine. You can get a little bit of a boost on those failed
And
generating
you can
tests
upgrade
and
her, and
such.
she's gonna get even better
Yeah,
ability. So
and
yeah,
when she's upgraded, she also gives you an intellect boost. And let's have a look at Granny On, level 3. Right, so this already gives you plus intellect and plus willpower. So um, she's all right. I mean, she's probably not the best ally in the game, but for the purposes of this deck, since she only has one trait and she gives you a willpower boost, she's going to do it. She has a bit of a horror soak for those
failed
um,
surveillance. Yeah,
yeah, failed shrivelings or simple tokens on shriveling
correct.
tests. So we go with 2 of Granny Orn. Now, the only other asset that I have in this deck is my sole economy card is Lone Wolf. The Lone Wolf is a great card, especially in solo. It gives you an extra resource every turn. Well, the restriction we have in this playthrough is that it will be played solo only. So Lone Wolf will always give us a boost. And the other thing is that it only has one trait, right? And it's the talent trait.
And it's a good trade. Lots of cards
And
have
it
only
is
the
a good
talent.
trait. It is a good trait, and there's a lot of cards that this opens up for you, including some of the very, very important skill boosters, such as the resource skill boosters like physical training, like hyper awareness. All of those just have one trait. It's
And
talent.
permanent ones as well.
Permanent ones
Thaddeus,
as well. Yeah, yeah.
another
If
day,
we have
another
time,
dollar.
if
Right.
we have time, we can cover upgrades later. But yeah, another day, another dollar. Studies, charisma as well. And also, if you learn an extra trait, composure, it gives you access to all those Blackies, Moxies, etc. Really, really good cards, especially at level 3. So talent will be our base for further upgrades to the deck. So we'll go with 2 of Lone Wolf. So far we're on innate and practice. That's our skill selection. And then here we have item, spell, ally, and talent. Again, this is setting up the basis of our future upgrades for this deck. Now we have 22 cards. We have 8 cards left to fill out the deck because we have a deck limit of 30. And we need to jump to events now. So for events, I mean, there's a lot of great events in this game, but events also seem to be the cards where you have almost the same amount of icons as the skill cards, and sometimes those skill icons are doubled. Like for instance, in Work in a Hunch. Work in a Hunch. So again, overall a great card. 2 resources. Fast gives you a clue. Quite important when you have a low stat line like the Yithian has. And it also has 2 intellect icons, which will help us in passing those learning tests. So we're going with 2 of Work and a Hunch. Then I will need a little bit more fighting options. I think the 2 of Shriveling won't cut it. So what I will also include is Spectral Razor, one of the best level 0 cards in general, I think. So it's a combat spell that stacks up your willpower with your combat and allows you to have some action compressions by engaging the enemy and attacking at the same time, and potentially deals 3 damage. So this, in the absence of Vicious Blow, which I think I mentioned, you can't come into Vicious Blow to Shriveling, so you'll have hard time killing those 3 health enemies. Spectral Razor takes care of that. So we'll include 2 of Spectral Razor, just overall a really, really good card. Even though I'm going to be going at base 4, I think it's still worth it. Now the other one is Explosive Ward. Explosive Ward. Another attack spell comes with 2 combat icons. Again, combat is not our primary fighting skill, but sometimes it can be useful, like in that example that you mentioned, Sergey. Or sometimes you just want to hit the enemy for 1 damage with your fist, and that's where these combat icons will be. will be really useful. And also it's unconditional damage, right? It says deal X damage to a non-white enemy. It cannot be greater than the number of empty arcane slots you have. Well, I won't have my arcane slots filled all the time with Shrivelings, or sometimes the Shriveling will be out of charges, so I think this can still be easily used. So it's a 2 resource, 2 unconditional damage, 2 testless rather, not unconditional. The condition that you need to have the enemy engaged with you. 2 testless damage to an enemy. So we go with 2 off explosive ward, and then the last one is well, I decided to go with evidence. It's a card from the core set. It has 2 intellect icons. This is probably this was the decision-making point for me. It comes with 2 intellect tests. I'm going to need a lot of intellect icons in this type of deck. Gives you action compression after killing an enemy. You have a free clue, and also it is insight. So I haven't covered the traits in the events, but Explosive Ward is a spell. Spectral Razor is a spell. So when learning the spell trait, we have access to all 3 of our 3 fighting
So maybe
options.
let's count them. So skills have 2, right? They have innate and practiced.
Yeah, innate and practiced.
You need insight, you need spell.
Yeah, spell. Then I need talent.
Talent.
Ally. And item. So that makes it 7.
Yeah.
That makes it 7. Yeah. So by learning innate and practice, I'm going to have access to all of my skills, which are probably going to be my first 2 traits to learn, I think, as skills. And then we'll see where we go from there. And then the traits here, well, spell I already covered. Again, there's a wide selection of really good spells in this game in the card pool, and insight is a trait that is pretty much on every seeker event. So it opens up a lot of possibilities. And I'm kind of surprised that evidence is also an insight, that it's not a tactic. So these 2 share a trait, and also the skill icons.
If you think about like tactics is what you plan, what you like spend resources for your, so insight is like there is evidence, right?
Yeah. True.
Right. But
so,
blue stuff is usually tactics. Blue stuff in insight is, I think, what's pre-planned for Joe or something. Anyway, go ahead.
True. So that makes it 30, I think. Yes, we have 8, 14. We have 30 cards. Well, will this deck play well? I'm not sure. I haven't played it yet.
So I see 10 skills that can be upgraded to level 2. You get Spectral Razor that you might want to upgrade. Evidence you might want to upgrade, that there is like a level 1 or something, right?
Yeah.
Newspaper, I think there is a newer newspaper, no?
There is there is an upgraded newspaper. I'm not sure if it's going to be very useful here. I'm more using this as a starting point to learn the item trait, and then from there maybe upgrade into, I don't know, into upgraded old key ring, or maybe I mean, it's an item trait, right? It's on like half of the assets at least.
Sure.
Yeah. So again, spell, maybe I can go from somewhere from there. Ally.
The best spell that I was thinking about is the Ghastly Presence. I think it's called GHIS.
Ghastly.
There is a skill that's a spell that recharges your asset when you come in.
Right. Yeah, ghastly possession, I think it's
called.
Yeah. It may be cursed though. You may have to learn.
Well, we can look for it, right?
Ghastly possession. No, it's just an innate spell. Yeah. Okay. Nice. Yeah, it's a good one. Okay. If I want to play with Doom, it comes with a lot of
No. Doom if you do additional question marks. And
true.
Or you recharge.
True. Okay.
And I mean, with Shriveling, it gives you 1 charge.
Yeah.
With the better one, it gives you 2 charges, and 2 charges in the better Shriveling is quite a lot of.
Yeah, that's quite good. I'm going to put it into side deck as a possible upgrade. But again, I'm not going to go in too much in detail into upgrades. First, because I'm not sure yet what the upgrade path is going to be. But in general, I'm gonna capitalize on the talents.
Very generous with XP.
Oh yeah.
You aim for like 40, 50. There is quite
true.
But it's better to be skinned, because you don't know.
Of course,
I'm gonna show you a deck that is not really hint at all. So yeah, let
Sure.
me open my
I'm going to stop sharing now.
yeah ArkhamDB. I was thinking about like preparing that so that in the background, and instead I was listening to Pavel because it was much more interesting. Right,
Thank
new
you.
deck, uh, neutral Lola. So I was
Hmm.
thinking, right? Uh, if I was playing just Lola, right, I would be limited by level 3 cards, and there is a lot of level 3 cards, but I can learn, right? I am
Hmm.
playing a Yithian. Yithian like skills. What skills can I put? Uh, that's Lola. She doesn't show you any. Well, in neutral, I don't think there are skills in neutral, but I can show unusable cards, right? So that's the first thing I did, and that set it for me. Right. What's the brute force? Brute force 1 XP innate, which was very popular in skills, right? And
Hmm.
it's a fight that deals 2 damage, and it's a skill. And it if you do the brute force, it's 3 fifths, and with Yithian it's going to be 6 fifths plus 2. It's going to be fighting at 8. So it's similar to what you do with the Razor,
Hmm.
but
Yeah.
without committing additional cards, it's 8 and not 6, right? I
Hmm.
don't need a second thing.
Interesting.
So I want to go
Yeah.
with that. And there is a friend of it called Sharp Vision, which is doing the same thing, except it's doing that
Right.
during investigation.
Yeah.
Right. What else? Down to split. I don't care about that, right? Spirit retreat. That's the same thing with an evade. Am I going to have a lot of enemies? Maybe, but let's leave it away. Lower
Okay.
difficulty by 2. Maybe if I want to go lower difficulty by 2. Again, innate, that's not gonna increase a lot of my uh
Just a question, Sergey. So I
yeah.
see that you started putting XP cards here. So
Yeah,
level
yeah. I
one
want to
brute
start
force
with
and level
XP. I
one
want to start with
sharp
XP, and I'm
vision.
gonna cut down on into the
Oh,
knowledge.
right. So you're building an upgraded deck and
Yeah.
then
Well,
cutting down
what am I
from
aiming
it
for?
to level 0, 1. Okay.
So
Interesting.
persistence,
It's a
one
different
question
approach to, as
mark.
to what I did. Cool. Yeah.
Yeah. So providential, 2 brains or 2 face. I don't really need blesses. Blesses are not gonna make any weather for me, right? Rise to the occasion, advanced, right? There is an advanced rise to the occasion. It gets plus X question mark. So X is the difference, right? So
Yeah.
that would be what I'm aiming for, right? Like the basic
Hmm.
one is amazing already in Yithian. This advanced one is pretty much everything except the tentacle. Signum Crucis gives me blesses. I don't care. Strength in numbers, each different class. Maybe, maybe it gives me question marks depending upon how many different classes. I myself a neutral class, so I'll need a lot of cards before that use. Commit only to after revealing. You may choose to exile. If you do that, it's automatically successful unless a tentacle. Well, I hope I will be successful enough after committing that I don't like unless a tentacle is a deal breaker. If it would be just automatically successful, maybe. Survival instinct, 2 legs, unexpected courage. So that would be 2 question marks, but it returns into the hand. So that it would fail because of the tentacle. It's nice to have a question mark. Unrelenting, stealing non-tentacles. Again, not a great thing. Right? Seeker. What's good in Seeker? Deduction. Yes, thank you very much. Esoteric method. At curses, I don't like adding curses. I'm already very thin on abilities. Like if I add more curses,
Yeah.
I
It's going
don't.
to be 8 wild icons and then a lot
Yeah,
of regret afterwards.
yeah, like it will be nice in the end of the game or something. But yeah.
Yeah.
Perception, pure, surprising find. Yeah, service area. Yeah, I approve. Maybe, but it's very expensive XP wise. Not expensive trade wise, but it's very expensive XP wise. Maybe. Rogue. Actually, you know what? You know what I just realized? 4 question marks. Where have I seen 4 question marks? Huh. I was recently playing an investigator with 2 of everything called Amanda, who really liked skill cards, and I always had a skill card that had like 4 question marks on it. Now, what did I do for that? What did I do for that? What I did for that was I had an asset, and the asset was called Dream Diary.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. I
And
looked at that as well.
Dream Diary has 3 options. So you have to learn it first, right? So it comes as an item, tome, charm. So on top of just learning items, you have to learn tome and you have to learn charm. But after you succeed by 3 or more during a skill test to which you attach a skill card that comes out of it, right? You get yourself an advanced one. An advanced one is also item, tome, charm, right? But there are 3 ways of that. So all of them are giving you for free this essence of the dream. It comes into your hand at the beginning of every round. Okay? And the second thing is that it adds 2 question marks on top of the 2 question marks that were there if you are the
Yeah.
4 shroud location, or if you are engaged with enemy, or I don't remember what else was. It was the third one, but
Are you going to shoot for a specific one, or
no, 8 cards in your hand. Like, I mean, what I can do, right, is I can take something called shrewd analysis,
yeah?
which will allow me to upgrade this into 2 random. And when I was Amanda, I was a fighter. And for the fighter, I really needed a fighty one. I
Mm,
randomly pulled 2 cards at random, and they were both fighty, and I was very happy about it, and I saved 3 XP. But for this Yithian, I don't really care if there will be 2 different ones. Fine. Point being, Essence of the Dream has 2 question marks by itself, which is 4 question marks for the Yithian. With a trigger, it's gonna be 4 question marks originally, 8 question marks for the Yithian. It will pass me a test every round, even if it's just
yeah,
4, right? So
yeah,
here, right, you get to upgrade it for 3 XP and 2 trades on top of the item that I'm gonna take anyway. I'm gonna be golden, right? So with shrewd analysis per se, does it give me talent? I'm gonna need talent. I'm gonna be, I'm gonna have another dollar. I'm gonna have uh, studios. So I need talent. I'm gonna go with shrewd analysis, which is not gonna trigger until I learn talents. I don't really need to learn it immediately,
yeah.
right? But I
True.
need dream diary, and I'm gonna learn it later into something. And since I have items that I need to find, right? I can do 2 things. I can do research librarian who is searching the whole of my deck for a tome,
Hmm.
such as the Dream Diary. Ally, Miskatonic, fine, too. Or I can get backpack. And backpack,
Only
right?
has an item trait.
It's just an item, right?
Yes.
So right now I have 2 items. What other items can I use? What other items can I use? Yeah, I don't know. Let's see what else we've got. So coming back to skills, we did the Seeker, we did the red ones, let's do the rogue. Well, manual dexterity, sure. Justify the means, put a bunch of curses. I don't like it. Copycat, maybe, but Gambit,
And no
uh,
one to copy from. It only
no one,
works in multiplayer. So
of another investigator. Yeah, so
yeah.
that's the problem. All in, fortune, maybe, right?
May I suggest
Now,
looking at Savon?
two,
Yep. It
uh,
has the
three,
same traits as your brute force as well, innate and developed, and it's going
it's
to give you
three.
6 icons every time. Yeah.
Going to 6. Sure, maybe. 3 aces, again, fortune, skeptic. This, I mean, do I need to return it back into my hand? Not really. I'll probably have a bunch of stuff in my hand. Mystic, defiance, heal, cancel the symbols. I should be above all the symbols. The -5 is going to be a problem for me, but symbols I should be overcoming. The lowest I think symbol is -4. Heal horror, maybe. Ghastly possession, if I get a spell with uses. Actually, this is the only thing that can recharge a hyper physical spellcaster. So it recharges uses, not charges. So that's
Mm.
actually uh, useful to know. Mesmeric, so gut, sure. Mesmeric influence, yeah, not really. There is a couple of places where it's useful, but cult theory again, 4 question marks. So that comes to me for free, right? So like assuming I learned the Dream Diary and upgraded it into nicer Dream Diary that comes to me. A better thing comes to me for free every round. Seal of the Endless Sign, not bad. 5 XP. Spell, I don't have any spells yet. I'm not gonna touch it for a while. Guardian, defensive stance, yeah. Leadership, I don't have anybody. Overpower, sure. Strong armed, I don't have melee or ranged assets yet, but sure. Vicious
Yeah,
blow,
they can not
sure.
that great. Yeah.
Now, level 0 skill, daring, yes please. Uh, Fighting lessons, 2 question marks, not
Nope.
not great. Helping hand,
It's kind of
unclear.
doubling down
Yeah,
on the
too
Yithian's
too much
ability,
double,
right?
too much doubling. Not gonna make a difference. If I was like over succeed by X and then deal X damage to all the enemies in your location, maybe, but it's not. It could be useful if I have like a lot of traits and I want to learn these traits and then upgrade out of this helping hand into something else, right?
Yeah.
Maybe, right? Inspiring presence, I don't have any allies. Intrepid, it gives a bonus, but it's not a big bonus compared to. It won't be enough to pass. Maybe 3 question marks, like 2 question marks, and then the brain, maybe 3 brains, right? Not a lot. Purified, add blast tokens, self-sacrifice, no other investigator. I am gonna be not a very stealthy person. I'm not gonna get a lot of action out of that. Take the initiative, maybe, right? So 3 question marks. It's good. Vicious blow. Yeah, I already picked a good one. So mystic, cursed. Add curses and treat the curses as 0. Not a good place. Defiance, already talked, and Raptured. Maybe if I had a spell. Heal 1 horror, I think I have the advanced one. Prescient, predicted, practiced augury. So I got taking augury just because of one card is not.
Yeah.
Promise of power. Here's my problem with Promise of Power. I already have a similar card without the downside of putting curse token. It's not a bad card.
You
I'm
mean
taking it all the time.
you
Well,
mean in the essence of the dream, right?
yeah. But like in general, right? So imagine I need, I don't know, 4 questions. I already have
Yeah.
Rise to the Occasion, right? So this doesn't have the downside. It already comes. Like if I am playing higher, right? So if I have one
Yeah.
lower, I already have enough. So
Yeah.
you see,
Well, I'm at this point. I'm not sure where the rest of the deck is going to go, but it doesn't look like you're going to be playing a lot of curses, I guess, in this deck, and that
yeah,
means that you
I'm
might as well just be,
ignore the curses.
learning the curse trait just for one card.
Yeah,
Yeah.
nah. Quick thinking. If I need additional actions, I would rather take Leo De Luca, to be fair. So, I mean, it's a good rogue skill, but it's because rogues are cycling so quickly, and I don't think I
Yeah.
want
I
to
looked
be
at it as
cycling.
well, and I was impressed with the icon for this
Um,
deck. So
Opportunist doesn't make sense. I'm not going to succeed by 3 or more to return it. We already talked about Nimble. You don't really need to run around much. There is like one place, but light-footed, eh, hatchet man, eh, yeah, it's good when you have a lot of people and there is a better hatchetman. I think that like uh, when you do it multiple times. Double or nothing, fortune, diabolical luck, first fortune. Yeah, so nothing, multiple question marky kind of thing. Inquiring mind doesn't have a downside except of having a clue on this location. Sure, doesn't have XP, so might as well. Analysis, 1 question mark, not a lot. Curiosity, deduction already added, Eureka already added, and what did we not cover here? Able-bodied, if I don't have assets, it's giving me fits and
I
flex.
I actually looked at it because I only
It's
have
got,
one item, and that being
yeah.
newspaper. So it would all the time give me 3 icons.
hmm
But I mean, the deck slots are limited, and I just thought it's quite funny
Yeah,
that
if
you're
it gave you
playing
question marks,
In a Yithian body, and you are
if
playing
it is,
able-bodied as a skill.
right. Take heart, maybe, right? If you want to fail and
Yeah,
draw some cards, but
yeah.
I feel like there are better.
it was an option for me as well, but in the end, I decided not to take it. I mean, it's a great economy card, but I decided that I just can't afford really having cards
Mhm.
without icons in my deck. Not for this
Stunning
type of build.
Blow, I would like to have it for free, but I don't have it. Rise to the occasion, sure. Resourceful, no, one doesn't
Resourceful
work.
could recur your brute forces and sharp visions.
Sure, but my plan is not to spend too much time when I need to use them multiple times. If I was
Hmm.
like Rita and I needed to, well, not necessarily Rita, but like if I needed to fight all the time, if I was a fighter, right, I would probably want to recur the brute force. But
Hmm.
in here,
Yeah.
my plan is to run through the scenario and before I have a bunch of
Yeah.
snakes on me. Last chance. I like the test icon, but that doesn't work with other things which might lead me to having a lot of cards in my hand.
Yeah. And it's
So
a gambit, so
yeah, one more thing to learn. I don't know. Long shot, nice card, Hemlock Whale. But
no icons. I mean, that's the deal
yeah,
breaker for me.
yeah.
Yeah.
And neutrals, were there any neutral skills that I kind of liked? Well dressed, no. There is a parlay, but just for that, mm, you know what?
Yeah. I mean,
Maybe for the first scenario when
you could
parlay
take it
matters,
and
yeah,
then add
you could upgrade
adaptable
it to
and
something else.
or upgrade it into something else. Yeah.
Actually, adaptable. Let me see. The bull cost 1 XP. It's a
Yeah.
talent, so I would need to have talents anyway. In between each game, you may swap to zero to exchange the equal number of level zero. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
I,
love it, love
I'm
it.
probably going to be including it. Yeah, because I mean, it's going to give a lot of flexibility, adapting to the meta knowledge of the
Sure.
scenarios, especially the skill card selection. So yeah, I'm going to go maybe even with two adaptable.
Say
Yeah.
your prayers. So one way of dealing with that, right? So there are these desperate skills, right?
Hmm.
And there is a blue spell called Bestow Resolve that replaces all the skill symbols
Yeah.
with question marks. And these
Yes.
desperate skills, they have like a short, like the problem that you have three or fewer sanity. I think it's all three or fewer sanity. But it's easy if you have six sanity to be on three sanities, you're going to be using them very quickly. And with bestow resolve, you convert them to question marks and you can pass a lot of tests for, 0 XP. But that's like, I don't think it's safe to trust. It's possible, right? If you're Carson, that's bread and butter pretty much of certain cards
Yeah.
on deck. But
Yeah. It's a
I
bit too much work, I think,
just,
for this
yeah,
deck, for a solo deck especially.
the
Yeah.
solo deck is not gonna be,
Yeah.
and the basic staples are here. Now
Yeah.
we've got 38 cards. That's a lot of cards. We need 30
That
cards.
is a lot of cards.
What do we drop? So we don't
Yeah.
want improvisation. Obviously, that's from.
Are you gonna be adding any events at all? Because you have a lot of skills
I
and you
don't
have
know.
assets.
So what I don't
Yeah.
have is dealing damage. I have brute force, and that's pretty much it. I can take a spell, and then I have to learn a spell. I can take an item that deals damage. What kind of items deal damage? So there is
Uh,
a fire extinguisher. Fire extinguisher is item tool melee. It's not an item weapon melee. It's an item tool melee.
yeah.
It is a
It's a
two
lot of
damage
traits
per
as well.
fight. Um, well, two traits on top of what I already have. Do I have other tools that I want to have? If I go two-way, right, I would need to. I would could be able to take like the fingerprint kit, but again, it's 4 XP, 4
Yeah,
XP 5 so it's too expensive.
I don't think it's worth in solo now. Yeah. Maybe magnifying
I
glass or flashlight.
yeah,
Flashlight is
but
all
then
right.
you make a Wilson and it's not a
Yeah.
Wilson, so it's gonna be a bad Wilson kind of thing. Um, I can go with a machete, which is again item weapon melee. So I have the item by default by my backpack, right?
Mhm.
I can take a weapon. Like, what's the best weapon for somebody like uh arguably Time Worn Brand, right? It gives you a +2, so you're already fighting at 4. You deal 2 damage all the time, and you can do the super punch thing that's gonna be not that much super punch, but it's gonna be 4 damage. Is it gonna kill a boss in one shot? Probably not, but it can kill boss in 2 shots, right? So you can do the weak punch and you can do the strong punch. Pretty
Yeah.
much all the bosses will be dead by then.
It's a lot of
But that's
XP though.
item, relic, weapon,
Yeah.
melee. So I would need the weapon melee on top of it. It's a good, like, XP is fine. Like, skills don't need a lot of XP. I like the most, what, 3, you know?
Yeah.
So I don't worry about the XP. What I do worry is the trade. So right now, what trades I have? Practice
Yeah.
expert, innate developed, practice bold. So take the initiative. Comes out. Bold, I don't have much. Strong armed, innate, innate developed, innate, practice expert, innate developed, innate, innate developed. So if I just took a basic level of all of them, it would be just innate and practice. Because they are
Yeah.
upgraded,
Looks like
I
it.
know there is and developed and expert.
Expert.
So I
Yeah.
need 2 more. Okay. I need a weapon. I will need a. I already have item tome. What kind of tomes do I have? If I want to play, do I want a Schroeder's catalog? It's a tome. It's an item. Doesn't take a slot, but
But
it's
you're
not.
only going to be using it for Dream Diary backpack, and that's
Yeah,
it
no, I
at this
assume
stage.
I might be using for other items. Like, let's say I want more items. I don't have healing right now, and I'm gonna be a weak Yithian who is taking all the direct damages from all kinds of encounters. I really want bandages. Bandages is an item.
Oh, it's just an item. Okay,
Yeah.
that's nice.
Horror wise, there is something called uh, something worth fighting for,
Right. It's a talent. Okay,
and it's a talent.
that's neat.
Yeah.
Um,
It costs money, right? And you cannot really use a software catalog to pay for it. But
yeah.
that's why I kind of need the
Speaking of money, yeah, I'm gonna be adding something for economy.
uh, gear it up. It's a talent. It's not going to
It's
be
a
useful
talent.
for the first scenario,
Yeah,
but it's going to be useful later, right?
yeah, because you can't use the permanents
Permanents
that
are
you
not
have
affecting anything. Yeah.
yeah, that you haven't learned the traits of. So yeah,
Right. So right now, what do I have? I have 40 cards. I need 30 cards. I need to get rid of some other stuff. Fearless heals me to horror. If I have the soak, I don't really need that, right?
yeah, yeah,
I want all of them perception and daring because, well,
yeah,
overpower gives me 2 cards if I upgrade
yeah.
it, but then
I,
I
I,
spend 4 more XP. Yeah, gone.
I was looking at the strong armed and vicious blow. They seem to be kind of duplicating each other a little bit. Question if you need both of them.
If I go with the sword, I'm happy enough to keep just a strong arm. But vicious blow gives you +2 if you succeed enough.
Yeah,
So are there any enemies with like 4? I think there are like enemies with 3 health. So if I have the sword, I don't really need that. Do I need a sword actually?
there are enemies with three. There's a lot of 3 health
But not
enemies
4.
in
So I
Forgotten
need I
Age.
need an additional
Mm,
damage to an additional damage that's already embedded in my sword. So what
mm,
I was thinking
okay.
about is a different. I had this solution.
So are you going with the sword in the end with the
I
time
don't
one
know. Look,
brand?
so right
Mm,
now, if I'm going with the sword, I'm adding 3 more things,
yeah.
right? And I don't know what.
If I'm not mistaken, the Blessed Blade, the level 4 one is I think 3 traits. It's probably item, weapon.
Blessed
Oh no,
blade.
it's probably 4. Yeah,
4.
it's item, weapon, melee, blessed.
Yeah,
Okay.
it's a good weapon, but
It's a, I mean, it's the same. It's +2 to combat.
plus
It's +1 damage and fills your
some
bag
blesses is
with
nice. Yeah,
blesses. I'd say it's a better card than that time one brand. It's cheaper in terms of resources and in terms of
that's what I'm looking for.
strange solution. Okay.
So for a sword, right,
Hmm.
I would need um, 5 XP.
Yeah.
and I would need, and it will cost 5 resources, but it would be multi-use. This thing is
Yeah,
kind of multi-use. It uses 3 supplies, right? But the supplies are running out pretty quickly.
sure.
I mean, you can draw like 5 enemies in a row or something, but I mean, in terms of how much damage do I need to deal in a scenario, I don't think there is a lot of enemies with more than like with 4 or 5 health. I think this is more like later campaign. So like I think
Yeah,
they're
there is one serpent that has 5 health with the
but
victory. I think it's called
yeah,
Serpent of Yoth.
yeah.
Uh,
But
yeah,
if
but
if I have
otherwise,
him, I'll be punch.
yeah,
I might not survive him. So this is just
yeah,
2 shots of this. Slotless, 1 instead of 3 more. And the problem is it's a fight not with a melee, which is why strong armed goes away.
yeah.
I have to use an ability and
I Yeah, my call perhaps would be to remove shoot analysis then, because you might end up with the wrong strange
I
solution.
choose. I choose. You may upgrade.
You may upgrade second copy of that card. Oh yeah, okay, cool, cool. That's
So
fair.
yeah, but if you choose, both upgrades must be at random. So
Yeah,
if it was just one, I could fiddle with it. But so
sure.
because it's Lola, Lola assumes you cannot use 3 or like you cannot use 4 or 5. You're limited by 3. But Yithian is happy enough to use the strange solution.
Hmm.
So
Mhm.
strange solution per se, I think requires you to just pass a test uh, of 4, which is pure. I should be able to do multiple times, right? So I need those. Right, now I have hands enough for the dream diary. I have the backpack. Strange solution is an item, which means I can pull it out. This is not an item. That's a problem. But there is a friendly Mr. Potterson, which is, I don't remember what's the name of. It's
Cherished
Cherished
keepsake.
Keepsake.
Yes.
And it's less, right? It's 2 sanity, not 3 sanity.
Item and
But
charm. Yeah.
charm I already have, item I already have, right? I don't need to learn. Well, it's a talent, so but it's 3 for it's +3 or +1 sanity. One thing I could do, right? One thing I could do is to do the hunter armor, which is an item armor, and then
Mhm.
customize that instead of cherished keepsake and bandages. And
Yeah, that's true.
money wise, it's gonna be 3, 4 before upgrade. This is 0. This is 2. It's gonna be less cards, and it's gonna be equally easy to find, right? So we drop the bandages, we drop the cherished keepsake, and we take the hunter armor. Now, one thing about hunter armor, what was weird when I saw it was that you can customize it and you can make it move to the arcane slot instead of the body slot. And body slot I kind of need for the backpack, right? And it becomes a relic. So then I have to. So not this is the only time I'm not using that. Like I'm gonna make it durable. I'm gonna make it hallowed, lightweight probably, but yeah. So the first time I'm not taking enchanted. And like in here, if I go into arcane slots, I'm gonna might be in trouble. Right. So I got 8 assets and 26 skills, and I need to drop 4 cards. Now, strange solutions, right? I need to recharge somehow. So one way to is to use the what's the name of
Emergency
that?
cash. Or
Emergency cash is 3 XP, right? I can
yeah,
do that. It gives me 4 supply tokens. I
yeah.
have a thing called
Cleaning kit,
cleaning
perhaps.
kit.
Yeah.
So cleaning kit is a tool. So because of the cleaning kit, I have to learn a tool. So emergency cash is a supply. So I need to learn supply for sure, right? So for tool, does the tool working with anything? The tool doesn't seem to be. Do I have a tool? I mean, I could at the end of the day still take the
Um,
yeah fire extinguisher, but
yeah. Fire
so
extinguisher.
either works to be fair. So for emergency cash, I need to learn the supply. For Let me add it at the beginning. So here I've got some money. So what do I need money for? Two for unlimited amount of 4 question marks. Uh, four for armor. Uh, two eventually one for backpack. Uh, what about actually astounding revelation? Does that go with research? Okay, I don't want to learn for that. Right. I got refuel for my strange solutions. I've got my soak. I don't have healing. I'm gonna have to live with that, right? How do I heal? Right? What do we have for healing? What do we have for healing? For healing, we have Hallowed Mirror,
Well, Hold Mirror, I would say, yeah,
item. I need relic. I need a cold. I need blessed. So much stuff. That's
that's a lot of
that's
traits.
yeah.
Yeah.
What else have we got? We've got the spell, Earthly Serenity, which is gonna be a spell. So I have to learn a spell. Um, we've got this fickle fortune, dilemma fortune.
Fortune. Hmm.
Kind of expensive, right?
What
And
about Hallowed Chalice?
hallowed chalice is item charm, which is fine. Uses hand, which is fine.
Yeah.
Uh, doom stuff. What my problem is, kind of have to carry it around. Do I put money? Not in a very contested slot. I mean, the nice thing about Dream Diary is that you can have two Dream Diaries, and they could be different, and then they could be like giving you plenty of question marks. So um,
You could go with an
maybe.
ally, something like medical student. I mean, it's a little bit of healing,
So
a
it's
little bit of
like,
soak as well. It's
yeah,
ally with Miskatonic, perhaps.
so on your own, I think it gives you only, yeah, only
Yeah, only survival
survival.
events.
That's, yeah. So if I do ally, I need ally and Miskatonic or whatever, right? I have items, and for items, I have Lonely Ritter.
Hmm. Yeah,
Hmm.
that's cool. Indeed, she's an ally, and that's it. Nice.
Maybe, right? So that's just one. She's a soak. She gives a fist to fight. She doesn't mind repairing stuff. I mean, another way of refilling is Venturer, right? Venturer is an ally wayfarer.
Very, very
Yeah,
specific.
yeah. So I don't think wayfarer can work. Now, can I have lessons? I mean, I can drop the backpack and hope I won't get anything, but I really need my weapon. I really need my dream diary, right? I'll probably solve the money problems with another day, another dollar. Um, if I don't get strange solution upgraded soon, I'll get 6 XP at best from the first scenario, right? So I'll probably spend them on my Dream Diaries 3, and I'll have a couple more for other stuff. So I won't be able to upgrade my strange solutions yet. Do I want the what's the name of that? Mystic event, Delve Too Deep. It's an
Oof,
insight. I don't have insight.
inside.
Yeah, probably not.
Hmm.
Right. So then I'm keeping the backpack. Uh, I'm keeping Lonnie. Strange. I'll try to get. What was the event for rogues when I was? It was. I'm out of here.
Hmm.
Trick
Good,
spirit.
good
So
icons
much.
as well.
Good
Trick
icons.
and Spirit.
And to be fair, there is a second scenario where if you are getting to the end of a certain thing, you want to resign, and instead of going through the whole
Yeah,
labyrinth, you might just teleport. But
it is.
elusive, elusive,
It is a.
elusive.
Oh yeah, yeah. But yeah, it's a good adaptable target. It's just tactic. Okay. I'm surprised it's not a trick.
No, I remember there was a tactic because I put it on stick to the plan
Hmm.
or at some point. But let's say we have two. I've got 40 cards. I need to drop 10. Okay, so let's drop guts. I don't think there is a lot of brain. Brute force is coming
There is
later.
a
Sharp vision is coming later.
surprisingly high amount of willpower tests in the last scenario in Shattered Aliens.
I hope I'll have a lot of question marks by then.
Cool.
Helping hand. I can adaptable into it. At first scenario, I don't need it, right? I can adaptable well dressed
Mm,
into it, right?
mm.
Vicious blow might be useful. Unexpected courage, rise to the occasion, perception, manual dexterity, inquiring mind, deduction, daring. I need to drop two more cards.
Yeah.
I choose to drop. I need legs to evade. I need perception to pass the books test. Uh, I need rise to the occasion because of the question marks. I need daring to evade. How about I drop the manual dexterity and then use the daring to evade? I don't think there is going to be a lot of. There is nothing that moves you around, right? There is only.
There's nothing that moves you around, but there's a lot of those serpents that you perhaps don't want to kill
Yeah.
to avoid vengeance. I'd say, in Forgotten Age, agility icons. I mean, I always go with the manual dexterity in, in Forgotten Age, even in the decks that don't really benefit from it.
Yeah, let's
I would
go with
maybe,
manual
I mean,
dexterity.
if you're really pressed for those
You know what?
card
I'll drop
slots,
elusive. I'll drop
you,
elusive. For the second scenario, I'll
yeah,
adapt into the elusive. And for the third scenario, I'll remove elusive and replace it with helping hand or
yeah,
something to give me boost to pass the
yeah.
book
And
test.
I was looking at deduction. It's always nice to have even in solo, even though, well, in many locations we only have one clue. But I'm not sure if it's going to be worth upgrading into an upgraded one because, well,
Yeah, I just was going as
three,
along with upgrade. There is
yeah,
one place I think the pyramids when you go to Mexico. I think there is like three
okay.
heads or something. I mean, not worth 4 XP maybe, but not totally useless. Rise to the occasion and unexpected courage.
Yeah, and vicious blow.
Oop, oop,
So you are,
oop.
um, can you commit vicious blow to a strange solution test?
Yeah, it's a fight.
Okay, that's cool because you're fighting with a base,
6.
um, base 6. Okay, that's fine.
Then obviously you
But
can commit other stuff besides.
how are you going to be fighting in the first scenario where when your strange solution isn't
Vicious
researched
below.
yet?
Do we have enemies? So there is a person to talk to, which is why I have well dressed.
Yeah. There's
And
serpents, which you perhaps want
evade
to evade, but in the second half of the scenario, there's those serpent people,
with 2 health.
brood of you, I believe, with 3 health, um, and maybe a big serpent with victory point and 5 health, I think. So there are some enemies, yeah. Also those Atsley guardians too.
I mean, it's like Guardians, I'll probably just
Yeah,
take a damage from.
normally they're not a huge problem. The serpents are more of a problem because they hunt you. Yeah.
I don't know. Is
Yeah.
there a way for me to? I mean, I can dynamite, but that's not a long-term solution.
Mm.
I can evade and move, but I can just tank them. I mean, there are snakes which might. What about actually transmogrifying?
I think it's a lot of traits. Um, no,
Not that one.
not that one. Yeah.
Gambit and
Gambit and science. Well, you have science from Strange Solution, right? Then Gambit is a bit odd. Hmm.
no, that would be rebuilding of everything. I can take a machete. That would be a melee. I don't have a
Yeah,
melee now.
that's three traits indeed.
Mm. What about a knife?
Item, weapon, melee. Yep.
So if you don't succeed at your first scenario, I mean, I can probably get to negotiation, right? I can probably talk to the person. Then I need to. It shuffles at the second agenda, right? So if I get to this victory point guy, I need to somehow kill the victory point guy. If I do the 2 vicious blow, that's 4. So if I punch him, that's gonna be. Well, I don't have.
There are some victory point locations too.
Yeah. Let's find out, I guess.
Yep.
Do I want to take 2 more? I can take the shriveling, yes, or anything else like fight spell kind of thing. I can like the spectral razor is not gonna help me, right? It's gonna give me like 2 damage. Well, it could be 3. No, it can only be 2 damage for the fat one. Can I defeat him? There was like waylay. Look, waylay tactic.
Yeah, it's a tactic. Okay. 2 evasion
He's
tests
elite.
though.
He's elite though.
Yeah.
Serpent something. He's elite. From youth. No, he's not.
Oh, no, he's not. Okay.
Nice. Okay, so how many skills do I have now? I will need fortune. Well dressed as a fortune. I don't really need well dressed, do I? I need it for just for this parley thing.
Yeah, not sure if it's worth the time slot.
Yeah. What did I drop to fit that was useful? Neutral. Overpower. No. There was something evadey that we were choosing between the 2 evadey things, right? Then we kept the manual dexterity and daring. Overpower.
You might want to have a look at the survival instinct. I mean, the icons are not great, but it evades and moves you to a connection location.
No, I don't want to move. I
That can
want
be
to evade
quite.
and then waylay.
Okay.
Right. So I have the big thing to defeat the big thing. I need a parley thing, but other than that, I think I'm good. Right. So that's 32 cards. Why is it 32 cards? Because I added waylay. Fine. Let's get rid of that one. Right. 30 cards. Good stuff. How many skills?
Nice.
So 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. I will need more in the future, probably. But I mean, at the beginning, it seems to be feasible. So yeah.
So 11. That's 11 actions, and that is, well, that's 3 to 4 rounds,
I don't need
assuming you
I don't
pass
need
all the.
I don't need all of them, right? I need waylay to defeat the big thing, so I might learn tactic when it comes. It might not come to me at all. I might die.
True.
So
True.
so the important stuff is the skills. I have 16 skills, so I've gotta have. So out of them,
Yeah.
6 of them are giving me a new card, so that's gonna make it cycle a bit better.
Yeah. One thing we need to keep in mind as well is that the way this challenge campaign is structured is that we are playing through the entirety of it as a Yithian. However, in the City of Archives, everyone's favorite, we're going to get swapped into a random investigator, so one of the actual investigators. So, well, in the original Forgotten Age, you get your investigator card changed to a Yithian again. Sorry for the spoilers. But in this case, you will be playing as a Yithian, and then you'll get a random investigator to play through the City of Archives. So which means that we also need to think of how our decks will perform in a random investigator.
I feel like this is gonna be doing good in anybody,
Yeah, because you
but
have Dream Diary,
except
it's quite
Carson.
yeah, Dream Diary and Strange Solution quite universally useful. I think in my case, I might be struggling if I get someone with low willpower.
Hmm.
But then at the same time, if I were to go with weapons, I would be struggling if I get someone with low
You get someone
combat.
with
So
one willpower, it's not much lower than two willpower.
yeah.
But let me show you just one thing. So I saved this deck, and what I wanted to show you is a deck that I did before,
Mm.
and it's similar, except I was thinking about, well, Ancestral Knowledge is a great card for Yithian,
It is a great
right?
card
And
indeed.
it's a
Yes,
talent.
permanent. Yeah,
And
and
this is
it's
what I was
talent.
looking
Yeah.
for. Grey's Anatomy. Here's why.
Item tome. Okay.
Item Tome, I already have them. So Grey's Anatomy, I don't think you have ever played it. Did you play it?
I'm actually playing Vincent right now through a campaign.
Right.
And
Uh,
Vincent is the
is
place
a
to
healer
take
person.
this.
Yeah.
But I
So what?
but I decided not to go with it. Instead, I'm using like a fully upgraded alchemical distillation
Of course.
in my hand slot.
Now
Yeah,
this
so
thing,
no,
what it
no,
does
never
is
played it.
that you make a test of one book and you
Mm,
over succeed by three, and then next
hmm.
time you will be healed, you heal more,
Yeah.
or next time you deal a damage to something, you deal more damage. So
Yeah.
here's the plan: an enemy comes into my location. I am
Hmm.
looking in my book and I'm
Okay.
learning about this thing, and then I'm shooting him with a grid cop for four
All right.
damages, testless,
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
and
Does
then he
the
heals with bandages.
yeah
And this
does
is
the
something you cannot do anywhere because Lola does not. Well, okay, you can do it in Suzy, but Lola would not allow you to take the book.
Yeah, I mean, you can do it in Vincent because he has access both to Guardian and Survivor cards and Grey's
Bitcop 2,
Anatomy.
no. Bitcop 2, no. He doesn't have Bitcop
Beat Cop 2, no, 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 indeed. Grey's Anatomy does that test, does that action, that ability, does it trigger an attack of opportunity?
2. No, but
It
I was
does.
thinking maybe no, no, no. It still does, but I was thinking about having a Prophisia Profana, which I mean, it has been a Booker and still 5 XP. No, again, I was building from like Infinity safety, but I started with assets instead of skills. But like I found this rise to occasion by scrolling. I never took it anywhere, and it's just in Yithian. It's just spectacular. Plus 6 question marks is just outstanding. And you can see it's different, right? Hallowed Mirror, I took. Arcane Alignment, I took. So it would be, I think, 16
Yeah,
just on the
sharpness
start. And
clock as
like,
well.
it's not impossible, like with Dream
No
Diary.
events.
But yeah, it's events. Stupid anyway. Right. But imagine, right? Bitcop for the damages. And then they had, I think, leadership or something. Inspiring presence in my pocket to untap
Yeah.
the beat cop and shoot somebody else again for damages, but that would probably not enough actually. Anyway, my point here was today to show that how many different investigators you can build, and I mean some cards we agree on, right? Rise to the occasion, right? Some
Yeah.
cards we don't, right? Yours is spell based, mine was item based, like book based kind of thing. There's probably gonna be somebody who's like gambit and risky based. Thank you
Thanks,
for the
everyone.
talk. I hope for everybody who was listening, it was interesting as well. I hope you guys have fun playing Arkham and good luck. Cheers. Bye.
Cheers.